Back, SiriusXM shade45. Oh man, you know when you're able to see young individuals grow up to be great, and you're like there for the process. That is the blessing of us right now on SiriusXM shade45, is to have the arm wrestling champ, Jersey's own, of course. What's going on, Frankie? Frankie Muniz is on right now. What up, Frank? How you doing, brother?
How's it going? How's it going? Thanks for having me on, man.
You got it, man. So let's pump him up a little bit. So Frank right now is on the scene in New York City. So he could have been here, but the problem is that he was in Chinatown buying some bootleg DVDs, got arrested. So now he's coming live on Zoom from the local precinct. What's up?
You got to do what you got to do, man. I got to be entertained. And those bootleg DVDs are, got good. I got Glitter with Mariah Carey. I got Big Mama's House, so I'm happy.
Now, bro, I'm excited to have you on, somebody who's been cooking and doing this thing. But to let everybody know, your younger sister was the one that was pursuing acting and being on stage.
Yeah, originally I was, just a kid. I was playing sports. I was, always busy, and she did like a local theater program, and they put on a play at the end of it. And I thought it was pretty cool. So she was going to audition for another play, A Christmas Carol, and we were jumping on the trampoline, and she's like, you should audition. So she picked me a song, which I sang Let's Go Fly a Kite from Mary Poppins. And I went and I auditioned. Banger. And I got the part of Tiny Tim, and literally like the first or second rehearsal, an agent saw me and signed me, and here it is. Here I am.
Yeah, your man out here shining. So now success is a great thing, and especially in an industry that is so tricky, navigating. But you do have some great moments throughout your career that I'm sure you are grateful for. But when did you realize you had arrived and there were other artists or actors and entertainers who knew who you were, and you were like, wow, that's cool?
To be honest, I remember before Malcolm started airing, there were billboards all over. And my mom, we lived in New Jersey, just right on the other side of Lincoln Tunnel. And we were in the city all the time, and we'd take the subway. And there was Malcolm posters all over the subway with my face. I remember thinking it was so cool. But then I started realizing that people were like staring at me. And I was like, Mom, like, why is everyone staring? And finally, the show hadn't even aired yet. People were like, you're going to be on that show. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world, right? I was so excited. But then it was really fun to like start going to, the award shows or the premieres, and, all the celebrities are there. And I'm just so excited to see everybody. But then people were coming up to me asking for pictures. It's funny. My mom and I were actually talking about it yesterday. She's like, do you remember when we were at the premiere and you were like, don't take any photos. You can't look like a fan. And I was like, really? I said that? But she's like, but everyone was coming up to you. All the celebrities were coming up to you asking for photos. I just remember just being in awe and thinking it was so cool. But, I remember I used to come to the city. Sorry, I ramble a little bit. And every day I'd have auditions. We'd go to where they filmed David Letterman, and we watch the celebrities go in and out, like from the car to the back where they filmed David Letterman. And I got like photos with Cindy Crawford and all this stuff. And then we go by MTV, like TRL, and we'd see the star, we'd be down there waving. And then the next thing I know, I was the one waving down to the people. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of weird how all that happened so quick.
That is amazing. Now, if you can, because your last name is that your mom or did your dad die?
Yeah, my dad. Yeah.
Do you speak any Spanish? Are you able to articulate?
Oh, I'm the worst. I wish I did. My dad's, full Puerto Rican. My grandparents only speak Spanish, but my mom didn't. So he didn't really speak it in the house.
Right.
But I live in Arizona now, and a lot of people speak Spanish around me. I'm like, I need to learn, but I can read it a little bit, but I can't really hear it.
When you go to Europe, like there are kids who know like 3 languages and up. Like they're not
crazy.
Playing. So
I know.
But
I barely know English.
So yeah, once again, we are here with the amazing his government name is Cody Banks, but we're speaking to the spy over here. So the great thing is I was doing some homework and watching very quick abrupt edits with you in it of the Kingsfoil music videos.
Yeah.
Was that by choice because you didn't want to take away anything?
Yeah, it's so funny
he was a drummer in an indie rock band,
Yeah.
had music videos, and it would be like fast clips of him, but was there a logic to that?
We were a band, right? So it was like the four of us. It wasn't necessarily like, but at the same time, like I was just the drummer.
Yeah.
And we had at the time, we were on tour with like Ed Sheeran, and we were on tour with we played a bunch of shows with Third Eye Blind and all these bands. And a lot of times the people would announce it as like Malcolm's band, and in that sense, it's frustrating because you want people to take your music serious and know the band, but at the same time, if it's going to get people maybe to listen for the first time, you can't shy away from it completely. But we could control the videos, right? So I wasn't going to be like the star of the video. I was just a member of the band, right? So if you saw me playing the drums for a few minutes, cool.
You're doing your thing.
Yeah, but I'm just the drummer. You know what I mean? I'm keeping that beat. That's it.
So was that indie rock tour life for you? Sleeping in couches, because you actually did that, and you did long runs. And I know eventually it wasn't really your speed, but from that experience, what grabbed you?
It's funny, we were just talking about this. Like I managed the band. We owned the record label. I did all the booking. I advanced all the shows, and we would go on these tours. In 2013, we played 300 shows. Like we were on tour.
Wow, so you really literally invested in yourself, my brother, right?
Yeah, 100%. But we'd go on the road, and most people would think that we'd be in a bus or we'd be staying at hotels every night. And I looked at the guys as like the money guy, and I'd say, look, we could either spend the money, waste the money, or whatever you want to do. We can drive in the van, pull the trailer. We know a bunch of people in a bunch of cities. We can sleep on couches. And at the end of the tour, everyone's going to go home with an extra $50,000. When you put it that way, people were like, yeah, well, that sounds better, So, but we were also doing it the real way, right? When you're trying to make it in the music industry, it's tough, it's hard. And, you can spend a ton of money. But we tried to do it, how all the other indie bands were doing it, and try to get success. But in the end, I loved it, but it wore me out. Like being on the road is exhausting.
No joke, bro.
So we played 300 shows, like I said, in 2013. I asked the band for like a month off, and I was like, there's nothing booked because I didn't book anything. And they were like, well, we're going to find another drummer. So that's how that kind of rolled.
Well, that's amazing. Now I got to tell you guys, we are here once again with Francisco James Muniz, right? The fourth.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Did you continue that?
I actually didn't. And it was, I just had a son 15 months ago. It was a conversation in our house a lot. I'm like, do we keep it going? The fifth is pretty cool, but I wanted my son to have like his own, not his own identity, but I don't know. Like, I just thought it would be cool kind of to end it on a good note. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Now, let me ask you of that dynamic, because identity is a very tricky thing. And then someone stepping into Hollywood as far as identity is very tricky as well. Did you feel any desire to learn your lineage, your history, or, in giving your son a new kind of name, in respect to the Francisco, the legacy thing, to kind of, I guess the word is assimilate for American standards?
No, I think the big thing for me, with me having been an actor, race car driver, been in the band, I've done a lot of things. I want, when people, whatever he wants to be,
right,
them not to compare him to me. I mean, they still might, right? But if he's Frankie Muniz the fifth, you know what I mean? They're always going to kind of put him in a light of me. And I don't want him to necessarily live in my footsteps. I want him to have his own journey, like his own success, or not, maybe he doesn't want to be
and that's fine, because you are somebody who's done a lot of things, not only been an actor, been a drummer, but I am Friday going to be hosting over for the Formula One.
Oh, nice.
Happening in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that sort of greatness for you, because you are stepping on that race car now. You've been doing it. You took a break. and now you about it now, huh?
Yeah, so I started racing cars back in right where Malcolm ended, 2005, 2006. I was doing IndyCar stuff like Champ Car Atlantic, open wheel stuff, with the intention of hopefully getting to Formula One.
Where did that
And
seed come from?
what was that?
Where did the seed for wanting to race?
I've always loved racing as like a fan. I've always loved cars. Like as long as I can remember, like getting my license was like the greatest day of my life. You know what I mean? And but it's one of those things like, how do you become a race car driver? You know what I mean? Like it's like saying you want to be an astronaut or something. You know what I mean? Like it's like a far-fetched dream career. But I got to do the pro celebrity race at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, and I won that. And one of the pro teams was like, "Oh, we'd love to give you a test just for fun." And then I was fast, so they signed me, and it just kind of happened. Unfortunately, in 2009, I got pretty badly hurt in a wreck. I got pins put in my hand, broke my back, broken ankle, all that kind of stuff. So it halted my racing career.
If you go to the internet and Google it, you lost your mind. You forgot everything.
I forgot everything. I know not. I don't even know my name.
Yeah.
But so I've always wanted to go back into the racing world. I've always known that I feel like I have unfinished business in that world, right? I've been fortunate to do a lot of things and experience a lot of amazing careers. But the one thing when I look back, that in the future, I don't want to look back and go, I wish I did that, or I wish I tried. Because I have unfinished business in the motorsports world. So I am I'm working really hard. You know, our goal obviously is to be somewhere in the motorsports world. NASCAR is what I'm hoping for. And I've been driving a lot of late models this year and getting ready for next season. And that's my passion. And, you know, a lot of people think, you know, I had a son, like I said, 15 months ago. And the big thing for me, most people, when they have a kid, maybe slow down. They want to be less dangerous, you know, don't want to, you know, they get rid of motorcycles and all that kind of stuff. Me, I wanted him to see me fighting for the thing that I'm most passionate about and going after that dream. And I want him to grow up around that, around me, like seeing me try my best in something. And it motivated me to get back in the car. And I want to win races, win championships. And you know, when you interview me next time, you're gonna go, Frankie Muniz is a race car driver, and people will understand more than maybe as an actor or anything else. You know,
the great thing is that you had the great experience to kind of be smarter and come up in a time where child actors kind of like learn a little bit of the game, and there's some more understanding of things and education out there, so to speak. Because, you know, there was drugs back in the Goonies era where all the kids grew up and shit was all fucked up.
Man, I've got stories for you in my era of like other child stars who I would be around and I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. You know what I mean? But it's just that the world, that environment, they almost, you know, like it's almost accepted, like it or expected in child actors. Me, I never got into that. I was always so kind of focused on performing and doing the best I could and really kind of just being there in the moment and enjoying it. Now that I had stepped away from the acting world a bit, you know, I did the racing in the band and I've done some acting since and stuff. It's almost gave me a greater appreciation for everything I got to do in my past. So I can take everything I've learned over the years and I put in 100%, and my work ethic is, I think, I don't know. I don't think anyone will work harder than me, just because I'm appreciative of the life I've had.
Dude, you know, no pun intended, but I like your passion. I like that you give a shit. You know what I mean? It's now
I do though. You know, I don't want to look back and go, man, I wish I tried harder. You know what I mean? I wish I did this. You got one life and I want to live it to the fullest. And I'm hopefully, you know, can inspire other people to reach for their dreams, because that's all I'm doing right now.
Now we on a wonderful hip hop station, and you're not too far from New York City, and I also understand the commitment that entertainers in the acting world and even athletes, you know, they casually listen to music. They don't really like, you know, because so much is going on. But were you gravitating to anything, you know, hip hop or rap music?
Oh, of course. I mean, I don't know how you can't not. There's so much, you know, amazing hip hop and rap. And
is there like a song that you remember?
I mean, growing up.
No, I wouldn't think. Imagine young Frankie.
No, I'll be honest. the Ludacris album that came out in like 2001. That's all that was on in my car when I got my license. You know, word of mouth. Come on.
Yo, yeah, we did the tour. We did the anger management tour with Eminem.
Yeah.
You remember what was the single? The second,
what was the single? Roll Out.
Roll Out.
Move, bitch.
Yeah. Worry, you okay? You're not gonna get in trouble.
I don't know.
Christian chant. We're good. It's all right.
That whole album. Man, where'd you get that platinum chain with them diamonds in it? I'll stop.
Do you know it? Seriously?
No, I'm done.
That's all I caught. Come on, Rico, fall back. Let Frank. Sheesh.
You're making me do things I don't do.
No, it's well, you know what? The truth is that you are somebody who experienced life and you've attained not only success, but it's always great to know that you are a real individual. I know that you've said a lot of people that you grew up with on the Hollywood side, you don't really keep in contact with a lot of them because, they have their own ways. You know what I mean?
I've always said I'm me. I only know what it's like to be me, and I only can control me. You know what I mean? And a lot of people have different kind of motives, different kind of goals or whatever it may be, or ambition. I just feel like that the business in general is it's kind of like a dog eat dog business. Everyone's trying to just help themselves. You know what I mean? And where me, I wanted to have my close friends, my close knit circle, and I didn't care if it was a celebrity or whatever. Like it didn't make me gravitate towards them. But I don't know. I love my life. I love my wife. I love my son. And I'm so grateful and happy that I have the life I have.
That's super dope, man. He's out here. He's a bad friend though, right? Is this
I am a bad friend. I'm not good at communication. It's every year it's my New Year's resolution that I'm going to be better at communication. And next year, I promise I'm going to be better at communication. Yeah. 2023 is my year. Funny
is that you left the city of the East Coast and the madness of Cali as well. And do you feel some more tranquility? So you in your past life, you were an indigenous person. What was going on? You was a native?
I got my palm read in New Orleans when I was like 12 or 13 years old. And they go, do you know who you were in a past life, or do you want to know? And I was like, yeah. And they go, you were a judge in the Southwest and you were defending the Native Americans and trying to, help them. And they say I was shot and killed defending the Native Americans in their land.
They told the 12-year-old this?
Yes. But now here's the funny thing. At that time, I'd never been, west of the Mississippi River. I grew up in New Jersey, lived in North Carolina. I'm not drawn to the Southwest. And I went to Phoenix, and I didn't remember that for a while until I got there, and I felt like that's exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like I'm supposed to be there. So I almost feel like maybe they were onto something, So
there you go.
I don't know, just saying.
We out here hanging out with my guy. Frankie Muniz is out here chilling, being great. Now, are we going to be able to see you actually racing? I know you're doing your thing now, prepping and stuff like that, but is there a date?
Yeah, so we're hopefully going to announce what I'll be for sure driving next year, but it will be a high level of motorsport. All the races will be live on TV. If I'm doing the NASCAR truck stuff, that's all live on TV, ARCA. But I might be doing some IMSA racing as well. We're kind of jumping all over. I want to be the best race car driver I can be, and that sometimes takes getting in as many cars as you can and being fast. And
that's fucking beautiful, bro. I love how like you're able to just be inspired by different things and really pursue it and be embraced in another industry.
I'm trying. There's positives and negatives of having people know me maybe as an actor or whatever they know me from before. Like when you're trying to enter into a new world, a new career, and I'm not only want to do it for myself because it's what I love, but I'm excited to kind of show everybody that this isn't just a fluke. Like I'm not out here just to be a gimmick. Like I really want to be the best. I'm working really hard. I'm training insane. I don't want to have to tell people that I'm fast. I want them to see it. And you can see that in the results, right? It's not an opinion. It's right there in black and white.
Yeah, I dig it.
In the front, I'm good. If I'm finishing in the back, I got work to do. So I'm ready to finish up front and not in the middle, no more in the middle.
Well, I love it, my brother. Frankie, I want to tell you, man, thank you so much for being great, for inspiring a lot of people. Also, seeing your last name empowers me to be a better human being. And you know, continue being great in Scottsdale and an amazing father as well, man.
Thanks, man. I
And
appreciate you.
are we getting a Cody Banks part 8? Imagine.
I'm not gonna lie that there's been talk about bringing back the Cody Banks franchise. So there's been a lot of different talks, like even with MGM about it being like a dark kind of comedy, like an adult Cody Banks, or we've also talked about kind of bringing back Cody Banks where I'd be the instructor for the new crop of CIA kids.
Nice.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. But you know,
well, good, man. Nah, I just, you know, I want you to win in everything, but I also love to like tap in a little bit and be like, oh, I remember. You know what I mean? Frank, you stay amazing. Enjoy the city of New York, and tell Rico give him a high five for me.
I will.
All right, my brother.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, man.
You got it, man. SiriusXM Shade 45, success and none less. Let's go. Continue on.